Francesca, welcome to Mexico. We talk about Holocaust every time, and we think about murderers, victims, all the tragic things that happen in the Holocaust, people that help it also. But it's very hard to find love stories. What is un amor in Auschwitz?
This is exactly what you said. It's the unexpected side of what's going on in the camp. To be honest, we cannot be romantic because the frame is Auschwitz. But for people like Mala and Edek, with possibility to is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. With people like Mala and Dedek, with the possibility to have a better condition than the other, because she could speak 6 languages and she was hired as translator since the beginning, since when she arrived in the camp, and he was a political prisoner working in the organization of the camp since the very beginning, because he arrived with the first convoy. For people like Mala and Dedek, there was also the possibility to cut a space of emotion in Auschwitz. For me, the idea of love was at the beginning was really difficult to understand. That's why in the chapter of the escape, which is I think chapter number 6, I tried to be in their clothes in the 13 days of freedom, because the true the true life of their love is probably in these 13 days, because it's when they escape. They get rid of the clothes and of the uniform, and they are free. You have two, a young woman and a young man. They spent the past 2 years in the hell of Auschwitz. They saw their family or friends or mates dying, being tortured and going to the gas chamber, and then they are free. They are free, and they just, I try to imagine the situation, and probably the trees are the same, the forest is the same, and the river are the same, because Poland, after the Second World War, fell into the Soviet Union regime, and there was no industrialization in the area, so it's a rural area, and it's probably like it was. And then there is no happy end, but if you want, even in the when they are captured on the mountain, and then they are bring back to Auschwitz, still there is a romantic side, because the cell where Edek is waiting to be killed. You can still see on the wall.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the name
sign
of Mala and the sign of the date where they met in Auschwitz. So even in the cell, waiting to be killed, this is what Edek was doing.
When you're in a bad situation like Mala and where it's hard to be, or you're looking for somebody to be with. What do you think they felt in that moment when they found somebody to love, to care, to have each moment with them?
From meeting with survivors, I understood that there was no love in Auschwitz, but there was the need of love. And there was, I mentioned before that even if it looked like a taboo, there was also sex. It was a kind of touch someone in the eve of nothing, in the eve of death, in the eve of nothing, and it was somehow desperate, but it was somehow a way to be alive. For example, what we can know from the documents is that the very rare meeting, private meeting of Mala and Edek, they were in a barrack, which was the barrack where Mengele used to practice his experiment. And why? Because it was the barrack the more hide from the others, very remote, and it was the only place where they could meet in private
Sure.
way, very fast, and we can imagine the situation, but there was a very strong need for love.
You know, Auschwitz and all the camps and what the Nazis did was deshumanization. It was become people into nothing. I don't want to say things because things are things.
Yeah.
It was become in nothing. What is the importance of a love in this situation? What did you learn from the survivors?
Resistance, the strongest way of resistance. To find a way to feel love in the world of deshumanization, as you say, is the strongest way of resistance. If you want, is even strongest than a kind of violent resistance, as much as it could be. It's a way to say you want to kill everything in me, and you couldn't.
For many people it could be just a novel, something invented. People like also to say that nothing happened in the Holocaust, or that you are inventing anything. You are a reporter, you are an investigator. How did you know this is true, and why to bring it into a book and into the life of everybody?
Denial, it's always at work.
Yes.
And now, but it was even in the past. That's why I try to be very careful with the details, the historical details. So what I know from the documents. For example, about the 13 days of freedom and the moment where they are captured, I found the documents from the Gestapo. And
in the Gestapo have everything about the days, where did they...
They arrested, when they are arrested, and also then when they are back in the camp and the execution, which was a very cruel and very symbolic execution. And then regarding their life, they are some pillars. The moment where they are deported, everything is registered, and the number and what they used to do. Mala was a translator. Tracks of their life as real life are there in official documents. And then you have the story of their life. The story of their life is of course something that the others, the survivors and witness, drafter told me or told in the past to the in the archive of Auschwitz, but are their voice. So what I try to do is to put the pillars of the historical truth. So nothing, nobody could say that the two characters didn't exist, that they were not at that day, in that moment, that they were arrested together, that they were executed together, that Mala's job was that kind of job, and she started in Malin before to go to Auschwitz, and for Edek the same. And then, the love, that there would be, for sure, someone who could say this is a romantic story, but actually this is not a romantic story. There is no happy end. They have been punished very brutally for escaping as they did, especially because Mala was a Jewish, because other non-Jewish political prisoners, they had escaped in the same period. And it would happen.
And what's the importance of bringing this book, this history, into life, into this time, and having it in a book, and having it in a book fair in Mexico?
Well, Mexico is completely unexpected for me, and I'm very happy. I told about my feeling today and yesterday, and I'm very happy because the Spanish translation means for me something, because the last relatives of Mala I could find, Mala or Malca, because there are two ways to say it.
Because it's Mala, it's nice.
Yeah.
Mala, it's bad.
Yeah.
But it's in this book is the good one, and that shows us that no name can explain what is a real person.
Yeah.
But
so this young lady, she's the last nephew of Mala's sister, who managed to escape in Ecuador. So part of the legacy of Mala is in South America, and for me it's. I've been really honored to see the book translated in Spanish. And the importance of this book today, I mean, I hope it can be read and I hope it can be used to keep alive memory and keep alive the possibility of breaking taboo and breaking walls, even in a condition like Auschwitz. Can you imagine outside?
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing this history with us. Thank you for being in Mexico. I hope it's not the first one. It's not only the first time. It's a beginning of many other books and many other visits to Mexico.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.